Welcome to Francis Street Survival. It's been a long while. Today I'm moving on to Leviticus chapter 20. And Leviticus chapter 20 is about the penalties for disobedience, that's the consequences. So the Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, any of you or any foreigner living among you who gives any children to be used in the worship of the god Molech shall be stoned to death by the whole community. If any of you give one of your children to Molech and make my sacred tent unclean and disgrace my holy name, I will turn against you and will no longer consider you my people. But if the community ignores what you have done and does not put you to death, I myself will turn against you and your whole family and against all who join you in being unfaithful to me and worshipping Molech. I will no longer consider any of you my people. Remember Molech? Molech is the Canaanites, or should I say, pagan god that people worship by sacrificing children to. They burned children on the altar of Molech, raped children, did all sorts of things. And like I said, in present generation, people believe that, or some people say that, abortions are sacrifices to the god Molech. Because these gods, they didn't die. These spirits, they're still in existence, even though they existed then in days of Moses. They're not dead. You know. So abortions are for Molech. That's what is being said. And so it's so, should I say, thank God that um the penalties for disobedience have changed. Unlike in those days when people received instant, consequences, now we have the grace and mercy. Can easily ask for mercy from our Lord Jesus Christ, and all sins will be forgiven and wiped away. Then consequences were instantaneous. You either die or something, or people catch you. Now the generation is crazy. People boldly come online and talk about sleeping with their husband, their sleeping with their sisters' husbands, their wives' sisters, committing adultery, cheating, how many escapades they've had. It's crazy. But then, you will commit adultery, you see down the line, you get stoned to death, all these things. So in 6, he said, if any of you go to advice to people who consult the spirits of the dead, I will turn against you and will no longer consider you one of my people. Keep yourselves holy, because I am the Lord your God. Obey my laws, because I am the Lord and I make you holy. The Lord gave the following regulations: any of you that curse your father or mother shall be put to death. You're responsible for your own death. If a man commits adultery with the wife of an Israelite, both he and the woman shall be put to death. You see, adultery, they put it to death instantly. You can't come on and start saying, I can, yeah, it's my right, I can do whatever I want to my body. In those days, you die, as in, once people just get a whiff, oh, these two people, this man is married and he committed adultery. Death straight. People just gather you and they kill you. And I guess you're wondering, oh, what if the woman was raped? I don't believe this sentencing is for people who were forced to commit. If you were raped, that's not sin. It's when it's consensual sex. God is referring to here, I believe. Consensual, not rape. God hates rape. This consensual sex is talking about. So if a man commits adultery with the wife of an Israelite, the wife was willing, a married woman, instant death for both of them. A man who has intercourse with one of his father's wives disgraces his father, and both he and the woman shall be put to death. They are responsible for their own death. If a man has intercourse with his daughter-in-law, they shall both be put to death. They have committed incest and are responsible for their own death. Like I said in the previous chapter I did, that's chapter 18. When a man's son marries a woman, that woman becomes his daughter, even though she's his daughter-in-law, because His seed is going to go through his son into this woman, and she will birth his descendants, his lineage. So she's your daughter, even though to you it's not by a blood. Now she's part of that blood because she's sleeping with your son. She's carrying your descendants. She's your child, you know. So you can't sleep with your daughter-in-law, you can't sleep with your son-in-law. And God goes on to say, if a man has sexual relations with another man, they have done a disgusting thing, and both shall be put to death. They are responsible for their own death. If a man marries a woman and her mother, all three shall be born to death because of the disgraceful thing they have done. Such a thing must not be permitted among you. And I'm wondering, in this situation, what if the man's wife was not in support of the wife of the husband? And like in our own culture, where a man feels he can do whatever he wants, and women are just subjugated to the background. I'm the man of the house. What if the woman was not in agreement of him marrying her mother? What then happens? I guess there's a way they judge all these things then though. And then what if, because God also said he was against a man marrying two sisters. So what if the first wife, who is the first sister that was married to the man, is not in support? You know? So I believe that's the case here. If the woman is not in support and the man went on to marry the wife's mother, well, who knows how they, I'm sure we will see down the line, maybe in a different chapter. So if a man, okay, 15, sorry. If a man has sexual relations with an animal, he and the animal shall be put to death. And this is God speaking. This is not Moses, this is not Aaron. This just reminds me of cases I heard of women in some parts of the country sleeping with their dogs, you know, and so much more. If it was in the time of Moses, they would be stoned to death, they'd be put to death. Same thing with men, people, other people would do it. So if a woman tries to have sexual relations with an animal, she and the animal shall be put to death. They are responsible for their own death. See, God is giving animals responsible because the animal was not forced. A woman comes and you just carry. Animals know their, what's it called? Their kind, which is why they do mating rituals and whatnot. They know their kind. So why would you sleep with something that is not your kind, a human being? So God says she and the animal shall be put to death. They are responsible for their own death. Not just the woman, the animal too is responsible for his own death. If a man marries his sister or half sister, they shall be publicly disgraced and driven out of the community. He has had intercourse with his sister and must suffer the consequences. Well, they're not being put to them, but being driven out. Public disgrace. I talked about in the previous chapter how I saw two siblings who were, they said they GoFundMe, and they had about 200 and something $1,000, people for with people supporting them because they needed money to go, live their life together in love. They love each other. Now, see what God is saying about that. So if a man has intercourse with a woman during a monthly period, both of them are to be driven out of the community because they have broken the regulations about ritual uncleanness. And it's not just, it could be a husband and a wife, but still, this God does not like people sleeping with anybody when the woman is having a menstruation or menstrual period because there's blood involved, I believe. So if a man has intercourse with his aunts, both of them must suffer the consequences for incest. Your aunt is a member of your family, whether she's your in-law or your uncle's wife who you're related to and you felt she was just married, she has automatically become a member of your family by blood. So it's incest in the sight of God. If a man has intercourse with his uncle's wife, he disgraces his uncle, and he and the woman will pay the penalty. Neither one will have children. As in, God will make it in a way that they can't have kids at all. Not with each not not with each other, ever with anyone, they can't have children. The aunts will never have kids. The boy or man or whoever it is will never have kids. If a man takes his brother's wife, they will die childless. He has done a ritually unclean thing and has disgraced his brother. I don't think this is referring to when your brother is dead. This, if your brother is living, your brother is alive and is married, and then you now go and take his wife and marry the wife, or have sex with the wife, or do whatever with the wife. I believe this is what 21 is referring to. Because remember earlier on, when was this Judah, his first son who was very wicked, died. God asked, the second son had to take over to see if they could, what's the word, impregnate the wife so she could give birth for the son who was dead. So that's culturally acceptable. That person was dead, but now I believe God is referring to if the person is alive. Mhm. Then the Lord said, "Keep all my laws and commands, so that you will not be rejected by the land of Canaan, into which I am bringing you. Do not adopt the customs of the people who live there. I am driving out those pagans so that you can enter the land. They have disgusted me with all their evil practices." All these things that God mentioned, the Canaanites practice them. But I have promised you this rich and fertile land as your possession, and I will give it to you. I am the Lord your God, and I have set you apart from the other nations. So then you must make a clear distinction between animals and birds that are ritually clean and those that are not. Do not eat unclean animals or birds. I have declared them unclean, and eating them would make you unclean. I believe this changed later with the revelation that Peter had. I would like to believe that we'll get there. We'll see. So you shall be holy and belong only to me, because I am the Lord and I am holy. I have set you apart from the other nations so that you will belong to me alone. Any man or woman who consults the spirits of the dead shall be stoned to death. Any of you that do this are responsible for your own death. He had to repeat this part again. He mentioned it earlier. Now he's repeating it again. This was what King Saul did. He went to um is which someone who consults the spirit of the dead, a medium, because he wanted to speak to Prophet Samuel. Samuel was dead. He wanted to speak with him, and he went and arose, spoke with this lady who now did whatever she did, and they said the spirit of Samuel came up. I don't think that was Samuel's spirit, though. I think that was a familiar spirit, a demon. Anyway, so this is the end of chapter 20, and I hopefully this has blessed you. I remember these are my thoughts. I'm no pastor or anything. I'm just sharing my Bible as I read. God bless you and see you next time. Please don't forget to read your Bible. I won't be posting every day, and I won't be posting every day on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and co. But I post at least twice a week on my YouTube channel. God bless you and goodbye.